I had a plan, goals that I wanted to accomplish. I was 20 years old and a senior at Portland State University, studying in child and family studies. I was interested in children and planning on becoming a family worker. I saw myself as someone who could help a family work through problems and find solutions for children. In high school, I was an on-call babysitter. My older siblings had children, so I was getting experience with looking after kids pretty early on. I was also very cheap to hire. I had a 3.5 GPA, usually pulling A's or B's. My favorite classes were on sociology and psychology. I was interested in how people interact with each other. I had a boyfriend and we shared an apartment near Portland State campus. Life was good. The one odd thing about my life were the terrible headaches I was having. I've been having headaches since I was a young girl. I was told I was a sensitive child, but in college it became more frequent. My routine is to take a few Advil and lay down, and usually it would pass, about 30 minutes or so. It's important to note that I've never had a seizure due to the headaches, which surprised the doctors when they ultimately discovered that I had an arteriovenous malformation, or an AVM. This photo is a normal brain angiogram. Ideally, this is what your brain should look like. The second photo is my angiogram. See the entangled of blood vessels? That was my AVM. On February 27, 2010, my boyfriend and I were eating at the local hamburger spot. Suddenly, I felt an intense searing pain. This wasn't a normal headache. It was 10 times worse. So I walked out the door and sat down by the curb. All of a sudden, my entire left side went completely numb. My boyfriend called 911, and for that moment, my world had changed. I was coming out of a fog. In the ER, they had to remove my bone flap because of the swelling. All I could remember was my mother. She told me that I had a stroke, but she didn't tell me that I would survive or not. The chances are looking grim. But I was a fighter, and slowly I was on recovery. I lost a lot of weight, and my hair fell out due to stress from the hospital. I had a temporary shunt put in on my brain so my spinal fluid was normal. They did 2 surgeries on me, the craniotomy to save my life and the clips to exterminate my AVM. Here are my wonderful parents. They stuck by my side through everything. For the longest time, I had struggled to accept my stroke. I had my whole life ahead of me, dreams and ambitions I wanted to achieve, but the stroke wiped it out of me. Every day was a challenge, and I often cried at night. I felt lonely and abandoned. Basically, I had a pity party. I thought, why is this happening to me? Was it my fault? It's not fair. I think it's in your right to have a pity party. It's a sense of loss. You will never be the same on that fateful day. The stroke left me partially paralyzed with a visual field cut and with aphasia, a language disorder. After that, determination and stubbornness sprang up. First thing was to get out of that stinking wheelchair. And I did. For 6 months, I used a cane, and after that, I was walking free with a brace. Determination paid off. For the past 4 years, I've been working with occupational therapists, physical therapists, and speech therapists. I've recovered a lot, but I still have a long way to go. During this period of recovery and therapy, I've learned many things. My mission with this YouTube video is to help those who are dealing with similar recovery challenges. I'm not an occupational therapist, but I do know tips and tricks that can make life easier on a daily basis. I realize that not everyone who has suffered an AVM has had my type of access to care. Hopefully, hopefully I can help those who are needing an extra resource.